Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back with another episode of Hearthstone. Actually, I need to quit calling them episodes. I need to call them recordings, even though they are episodes, because now that I've been playing a bunch of episodic games, saying I'm playing episode 2, this is another episode of episode 2, is really confusing. Uh, so, anyways, back to Hearthstone though. We need to get 6 victories, we need to cast 40 spells, and we need to play 20 minions that cost 5 or more. So mostly what we're going to do is just stick with the mage until we can get 20 spells played. And then we'll move over to the priest. Let's see, if we could get 5 spells played in this game and the next, I think we could probably get 5 more spells played on the priest. And so we wouldn't have to... What am I saying? If I get 15 spells played
I
on
will
the mage,
fight with honor.
You asked for it.
then yeah. And I don't know. Whatever, I'll figure it out later. We'll keep that. So we'll do the mana wraith, then mirror image, and then this. Nice intro.
I am ready.
Still trying to figure out what I need to do. I need to redo my intro on my main channel. It was horrible to begin with. Undeniably just awful. But I can't put the graphics to the current series on. I have no idea. I pretty much am not going to get around to redoing the intro again by the time whatever's getting released gets changed. So I need to just have a very broad thing. It's like, hey, you've made it to my channel, click the subscribe button. Up there is the playlist tab where you can see every game that I'm releasing. Maybe talk a little bit about what I am. I'm a video game critic and all of that. Do I have the art I want to use? No, I really don't. I mean, I can use the art I have, fine. That's not really the problem. The problem is, I'm just not certain it's going to be the art by the time for very long. But I guess I can do it. It's better than talking to a black screen. Do I have like all the links? The main issue is, I guess I don't have like Facebook, Google Plus, Twitter, all of those links. All those images have not been converted into a 1 mana spell. Okay. So we should do this and this. And I get the Blingatron 30,000. Now this is a pretty cool card, actually. Gazlowe. I don't think I have this in my deck. It's a legendary. Might work kind of with the goblins versus gnomes mana stuff going on. Let's see, we'll kill this guy for sure.
Kill sailing.
And then we'll play a secret and see if that scares him off. So I have the 2 fireballs right now, and I would want to probably save them until we're closer to winning. Deal 4 damage. That wouldn't do enough, so let's kill this guy. And kill this guy in the face. And that's it. So I did something pretty silly last night. I decided to watch on Netflix the Bleach Hellverse and Bleach Fade to Black in that order, which is the wrong order. And honestly, in comparison to actually going through the series,
I wonder.
and what do I have? Aw, darn it. Actually going through the series as it was being released, watching the movies are slightly better. I will grant them that. It is better to watch a Bleach movie, particularly on Netflix, and when I watch something on Netflix, that means the second I get bored, I skip ahead to the most interesting part. Particularly in the Bleach shows, movies, that's great. Just skip all the minion fights in the movie, go straight to the final fight. They aren't perfect or great, even that good, I would be willing to say. But there is something to be said for having it all compacted like that versus the TV series that just had to stretch and stretch and drag on and drag on. Often in anime, the first episode introduces such an interesting concept, and then it goes in a different way, and that is kind of true for Bleach as much as it is for anything else.
Reporting for duty.
It was supposed to be like a Grim Reaper type person that was going to actually deal with souls and help them cross over, and that happens at the very beginning of the series, like hundreds and hundreds of episodes earlier. But it quickly devolves into just fighting a monster of the week series. That really very vaguely relates to that. And then you never really get to the core of there's always this hint of a story that gets in. Well, there was this hint of a story that got introduced at near the end about who were the royalty of the Soul Society, I think is what it's called. We know who the head captain is, the #1 guy. But all of them are defenders of some sort of royalty that I never figured out. And that was kind of even indicated directly as to why Aizen, who was the main bad guy for the longest amount of time.
You asked for it.
And that was the best arc. And then they came out with a final season that was just garbage, add-on stuff that they didn't need to. And there were seasons before and in between the Aizen arcs that were added to stretch Uh, and yeah, it's kind of the whole Dragon Ball Z thing. If you take Dragon Ball Z, take the best of it, edit it down, you can get a couple good seasons of it. But with all the stretching, all the stuff they had to do to make up for the fact that the comic book creator hadn't finished it. So, and that's kind of to say, at some point in the future, when the mangas are completely done, when the authors have passed away and can add no more, and there's no real thought to add anymore,
Job's done.
that's when we will get the best version of that story converted to animation, if we still do that, still do animation. I don't know. Anime is just, it is a lifestyle of frustration, of being disappointed, of being teased, getting stuck on series that are good enough to keep you watching and then become super long things. It is really the argument to the BBC style of, we'll do one series and that's it. Or don't ever go with the American style of TV, where it's we'll do as many episodes as are popular and then we'll just cancel it abruptly. That's awful. But the BBC style is like, we'll give you this amount, and the Netflix style is kind of like that too. We'll give you one season, so wrap it up pretty good, leave a few but not too many things open-ended, so that we could have a second season if we wanted to. But mostly wrap up the story. In general, I tend on what was my fandom of anime. I don't know if I really call myself a fan anymore. It's more as that I am probably just skewing closer to a slightly average person. If we're in 2015 saying that it's getting close to being average, that somebody has seen at least one anime, I'm starting to slide into that category more than actually being a fan. But
Job's done.
definitely want complete series. It's always a frustration. You could certainly do like the Tenchi Muyo series, is where there are several series, but let's see, I'm looking at them right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 series of the Tenchi Muyo things, but each one of them wrap up on themselves fine and don't particularly even relate to each other that much. Then you can also have a movie version and a TV version series. Sometimes that works, sometimes that doesn't. Like, I'm just gonna start staring at my display shelf here of my collection. We'll just go through it all. Like, I'm looking at Oh My Goddess here, and then there's the TV series of Oh My Goddess, there's the movie of Oh My Goddess, which is either one of those you could watch. I think it's a little bit more impactful to watch the movie after you've watched the TV series, but you could skip the TV series and just watch the movie and it would still be pretty good. And then before Oh My Goddess, I have Oh My Goddess, which was the OAV, which is somewhat related, but not really in the same canon. And then there's, let's see, some other OAV I think here, and then Adventures of the Mini Goddesses, which is not really related at all. Well, you can, of course, when I look up, I see the Evangelion here with, I have one of the TV series, probably one of the original ones. I'm so old, and when I got it, it was so long ago. And then I have the 2 movies to remake it. And at a certain point, I would probably want to get the remakes on Blu-ray. I have so many things on DVD, very few things on Blu-ray. A lot of them don't need to go to Blu-ray. There's nothing they can fix on them. If they were done in computer animations, they don't have the master files to re-render it, or if they were done on film, they don't have the film to remake it. So there's really nothing you can do. Here, there's FLCL, a short, intentionally short series that I wouldn't really want it much longer or anything. Let's see what else. Barely paying attention to this game at all. Can I do this? Can I really just be distracted? Let's move over to the priest. My first series here that I ever watched was Serial Experiments Lane. That was the first one I bought. It was not really the first series or anime I saw, because I saw some on TV. But it was the first one I bought, and is really about the worst anime you could ever watch as the first one. Because it is, in my opinion, one of the best series. And it is a a sharp drop, when you get the best of any genre or media form. If you watch the best movie ever made to you, and then you go watch the worst movie ever made to you, that's a far drop. It's a lot better to watch some of the bad things and get used to it and say, yeah, this is good enough, I'll watch this, and not go to the best. Unless you just want to not have much entertainment. If you are very short on time, which I certainly wasn't at the time, I had lots and lots of free time, you might want to just get the best of the best, and that is debatable. People will probably notice too, I'm naming a lot of really old shows at this point. Don't have a lot. Let's see. I can't even remember what the name of that one was. I have one I haven't even finished. I have a few I haven't even finished. I got busy. Becoming an adult sucks. Having to deal with real life sucks. And it gets you super busy. And I just didn't have time. I have like the Berserk thing. I wish they would go further in that story. Instead, they've remade Berserk into movies, but it's always the very first section. Let's see. I have all of Cardcaptor Sakura, and that's cool. And then there's some more Tenchi Muyo related videos on that shelf too. Let's see, Pretty Sammy S or Magical Sammy S. The way I sort my videos is mostly by what I'll do is what genre is it in my own classification. So if it is an action fighter, so I have Neon Genesis, I have Read or Die, I have Rain, I have Outlaw Star. All of those are action adventure fighting series, so they're all in the on the same shelf. And then I usually put it from left to right, how inappropriate it would be for somebody inappropriately young to watch it. So kind of like a mature rating. So if it's on the left, it's typically fine. If it's on the right, it's probably a little bit less fine. Uh, so can't do anything. No, I can do this. Not paying any attention to this game at all. But so for example, on my shelf that has Cardcaptor Sakura on it, that is the genre uh, of things that might interest girls. It's the opposite of shonen. I forget what it's called, but magical girls and girls things. So they interest me too, but they're targeted to. So I have Cardcaptor Sakura and the Magical Pretty Family S, and then I have Wedding Peach, which I haven't watched all that, so I don't even know if that's in the right place. And then I have Princess Nine, which is a girl, just a baseball game going on, playing baseball. And then I have Escaflowne, which is a little bit more violent. Then I have Slayers, which is a little bit more raunchy comedy. And yeah, Slayers is as far as that shelf goes. So I would definitely say Slayers less appropriate ever so slightly than Cardcaptor Sakura, because Cardcaptor Sakura is so aimed at a younger market that you'd have a hard argument showing any anime to a kid if you can't show them Cardcaptor Sakura. Some of these have to be out of order. Gosh. That has to be out of order. Why is FLCL on this shelf? I need to organize my shelves. That makes no sense whatsoever, this shelf. I'm looking at... I haven't looked at it. I moved since I last organized my shelves. I mean, because I have FLCL, His and Hers Circumstances, Otaku no Video, Those Who Hunt Elves, Dragon App, Chobits, Blue Seed, Dragon Knight, Nanaka, The Wanderers, Yamato Yoko, Romeo X Juliet, Guyver, Basilisk. None of that makes any sense at all. These are all, half of those are comedies. There's like, some of those are romances, romance comedies, but FLCL is just a straight up comedy. Basilisk isn't really a romance comedy. Samurai 7, Guyver, gosh, man, I need to really sort my shelves. That may bother me. And then, let's just keep going here. Let's see. Yeah, there's definitely something wrong with my shelves. I must have put them in the wrong place. This doesn't make any sense. I'm trying to keep all of these organized and know what you have is always a nightmare. There's a app you can find called Shelves for Android. It's you may have to find it on like GitHub to get the free version. It works alright. It's a little buggy and it's pretty much abandonware. But yeah. Yeah, my shelves need to be organized. And then I don't know. The other thought would be my shelves probably need to be considered.
Choose soon.
I wouldn't want to get rid of them, but I don't know if they should be as prominent as they should be anyways. Considering I don't watch them, I would love. I still kind of have that feeling in the back of my head that tells me I would love to just have some free time to get back and watch them, but it's not even a free time issue half the time. It's, do you feel like watching them? I've got nobody to watch them with, and it kind of sucks to watch movies when that are as awesome as some of these series are with nobody. It kind of just sucks to enjoy it yourself. And Netflix is so much easier. And how many of those series could I get on Netflix, I would wonder. Or Crunchyroll, if I did that. Probably watch every single thing. Alright.
Embrace the void.
Let's see. Well, that worked. How am I winning? Gosh. Second I turn around. That would probably be the second thing I would do. If I wasn't gonna do video game criticism, I would do movie criticism in general and heavily focus on anime. But does that really work? No. Anime fans need to always remember and kind of be happy that they are a small group. It doesn't need to be, and it won't ever be, everybody in the way that you would think it would be. It might be everybody in the fact that everybody's watched like one anime, but it won't ever be that everybody in the sense that everybody is a hardcore otaku, super in love with it, watches every single show that could possibly come out. That's just not gonna happen, and it's probably good that it doesn't. But reviewing videos doesn't really work on the internet. I haven't seen many people be super interested in that. You totally would get in way more trouble with YouTube all the time for if showing small clips and small audio bits even would just be a nightmare. You probably need your own website immediately just so that you wouldn't have to fight with YouTube's content ID system, which makes things worse because it makes it easier for other people to make false claims is all it does.
Choose soon.
So I can without showing any clips or visually mention any review anything, but that's pretty boring if you're staring at a black screen as I'm reviewing. For a while there though, watching anime and movies and TV was a lot more of a passion than it was. But it's almost like that was the same as my comic book fandom, which is now practically completely gone. It's when my arthritis was real bad and my fingers were hurting and I wasn't managing it as well as I have been lately,
Well played.
I was simply replacing the fandom of video games for the fandom of movies or the fandom of comic books, particularly in the comic book senses. I would have never even considered doing comic books if I could have played video games.
You must cleanse the sun.
Movies have always been there, and then, like I said, I just watched a Bleach video just because I had put it on my Netflix watch list at some point. Let's see. Will this work? I think this will. We do this.
Stand ready.
My shield
for Argon.
In the light's name.
We do this.
Well played.
This. Where was I? I'd like a bigger collection of anime, even if I don't watch it. Oddly enough. And this is how I know I've gone off the deep end. If people were to send me their collections, because people burn out and they don't want to watch it, they don't want to keep the DVDs. So if people were to intentionally were to send me their collections of DVDs, I would gladly organize it and put it on my shelf, even if I never get around to watching it. Because I have in the back of my mind, which I imagine most people do, this thought that, oh, I'll get back to it at some point. When would I ever get back to it? It's hard to see. Let's do one more game and then we'll wrap up. It is really hard to see when I would get back and have free time. Maybe if I had like a year worth of videos going out, I had so many views going on each video that I was very confident in the ad revenue and income I was getting from that. And it was just to the point where it's like, there's no more games to play, there's nothing more to do, you're perfectly set, take a break, and start watching your backlog, which is the notorious backlog. I'd like to go back and rewatch almost every single video I have, and that would be hundreds of hours. It would probably take me maybe a year. It just focusing and doing it 8 to 12 hours a day of marathoning, which I don't know if I want to marathon every single series, but it's almost like I'm planning for my retirement way too early. But yeah, I would love more videos. I would love that somebody, some relative may at some point get permission to watch anime, and I would love to share that with them. Although that is highly unlikely. It just depends. Depends on a lot of things. Parents change a lot as they raise kids. As to whether they...
Hello.
There was definitely a lot of things that...
Right away.
That I would have gotten in trouble with, that my younger brother wouldn't have gotten in trouble, didn't get in trouble for doing. And because as parents get tired, they're like, well, whatever. And parents learn.
Handle it.
But honestly, on the whole anime front, it's probably better that kids not even know the word until they hear it around age 15 or so. So much of it is not targeted to the American mentality. So I guess it's better that American kids
What to do?
or Western kids not know of it, because parents would disapprove of some of the jokes made.
Time runs out on me.
But whatever. That doesn't mean a lot to me. At some point, maybe I'll give it to some relative when they're 22, which is about the right time to be
Right
into
away.
it. Although, it might be better. Argument could be made, definitely not to be interested in anime if you can avoid it. And focus on, I hate to use the old cliche, but focus on dating. Focus on actual relationships. Uh, Getting too into
I wonder.
anything, playing video games too much when you're 22, or watching football too much when you're 22 can certainly make it more difficult to find that significant other that you probably do want to find when you're that age. Uh, because life is very hard and increasingly getting more and more difficult, and going it
Time runs out
alone
on me.
is only going to make it more difficult. So don't give up on your hobbies, but don't let them consume you, is what I'm saying. Don't be an otaku. Try very hard to be balanced. Watch other movies besides anime. Don't, even if you really honestly feel that all other movies suck, find a critical eye to explain why that's true. It's not really true, though. There are good movies out there. Maybe they're not the Hollywood movies, but there are good movies out there that aren't animated. Inherently, there there are, and inherently all anime isn't way better than everything else. I have seen god awful anime. A lot of it's god awful. Most of it doesn't even make it to the Western world, and that's why you get a better cream of the crop. But once you start really seeing some of the stuff that's terrible, you know it. You know it's there. You know a lot of it's bad. I would say Bleach is bad. I would say Dragon Ball Z is bad. Not because of the good parts, but by the vast collection of the stretching bad parts. You have to say that's bad. That is nothing but an editing mistake. An editing mistake that would have been fixed in any other series because they would have not stretched. Only in Japan in anime do you stretch the story to stay in line with the manga. You wouldn't do that in a comic book TV series. They'd just write a new ending. They'd hire some writers and write a new ending and continue with the story. You wouldn't see that in a movie. If the movie is based on an unfinished book, they would just write a different ending. We've seen it dozens of times in American movies. Anywho, that's a very weird episode today where I'm barely paying attention to the game. And we are done. As always, I ask that you like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All of that helps out. If you want to support me, you can click on my name Rydo. On the right will be a blue button that says support this channel. If you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media site, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.